So today we are going to talk about K-means algorithm, and K-means is one of the most popular clustering algorithm. K-means is one of the most popular clustering algorithm, and we know that clustering task comes under unsupervised learning. That means here we will have unlabeled data, and there will be no class labels. Okay, and here in the name of K-means, this K stands for number of clusters. Okay, so what happens in clustering? So if you plot the data points in the data set, so you can observe different groups, okay, present in the data set, okay, and each data point in one cluster will have some common characteristics. Okay, so if I set k equals to 3 for this data set, at the end of this clustering algorithm I can get these 3 clusters. Okay, as you can see, so if you consider height and weight as a 2 parameter, okay, so now these people will be of low height and low weight. Okay, this cluster is representing people with high height and high weight. Okay, so these are the people with low height and high weight. Okay, so short and obese people. So this cluster is representing short and obese people. Okay, so at the end of this clustering algorithm we'll get such clusters. Okay, so now this k is actually number of clusters that you want to form, and means so here we will be calculating the mean of centroid of these clusters. Okay, so centroid means the center of the cluster. Okay, so repeatedly we'll be calculating the mean to calculate the coordinate of this centroid. Okay, so that is the meaning of this name. So let us see the algorithm. So here we have to set the value of k. Okay, so initialize k, that will be the number of clusters. Then randomly we have to initialize the centroids. Okay, so there will be k centroids. So randomly we will initialize c1 to ck, and repeatedly we have to perform these two tasks. Repeat until there is no change in ci. Ci is clusters. Okay, so if there is no change in that ci, you do these two things. Classify n samples according to nearest ci. Okay, so what we have to do? So once you finalize the value of ci, so consider these are the data points, and so we have set c1 here and c2 here. Then from every data point you have to calculate the distance from that data point to the clusters, centroid of the cluster. So consider this data point. So we will be calculating the distance between d and c1 and d and c2. Okay, and we will assign that data point to the closest cluster. Okay, so c1 is closer to the d, so we will assign that d to this cluster. Okay, and this we have to do for all the data points. Okay, so that is the meaning of this statement. Classify n samples, sample means our observation or data points, according to the nearest ci. Okay, so we have to calculate the distance between each data point and each cluster, and we will assign that data point to the nearest cluster. And then as there is a change in the cluster, we have to recompute ci, that means the centroid of cluster. Okay, so this is the algorithm. So we'll see one problem which is asked in the previous D/2 paper. It was asked for 6 marks. So given that the observations are already clustered in two clusters c1 and c2. Okay, so they have already assigned the data points in two clusters as shown in the table. So we have clusters c1 and c2, and we have total 5 observation a, b, c, d. Okay, and it is 2-dimensional data. So we have x1 coordinate and x2 coordinate. Our task is to apply K-means clustering algorithm to find and plot initial and final distribution of observations in c1 and c2. Okay, so we want to apply K-means clustering algorithm on this data set. And if you see the plot, so here we have to show the plots also, initial and final. So if we plot this data point, so graph will look like this. Okay, so we have A, D and 4, yes, A, D, B. So A, B, D are assigned to C1. So as you can see here, A, D and B are assigned to cluster C1, and remaining points, that is C and E, are assigned to C2. C and E are assigned to C2. Okay, so now they have not given the coordinates of centroid, but actually from the coordinates of these 3 points and 2 points we can find the coordinates of centroid. Okay, so that will be our first step. Initial distribution of observation is shown in the attached graph. Let M1 and M2 be the centroids of clusters C1 and C2. Okay, generally we represent centroid using C character, but as you can see here, the clusters are given are named as C1 and C2. Okay, so that's why we are using M1 and M2 as the label for the centroids. Okay, now coordinates of M1 and M2 can be calculated as, okay, so it will be the mean of its data points, right? Okay, so M1, which is a centroid of cluster C1. Okay, so its x coordinate will be the average of x coordinates of A, B and D. Okay, so here I have calculated that. Okay, so these are the x coordinates of A, B and D divided by 3. Okay, and this is the average of x2 coordinates. Sorry, they are using x1 and x2. So this is the average of x2 coordinate, and so this is the coordinate of M1 and M2. Sorry, M1 and M2. So in cluster 2 we have C and E. So this is the average of x1 coordinate, and this is the average of x2 coordinate, and this will be the coordinate of centroid 2, centroid of cluster 2. As you can see, so from the figure itself you can cross check whether you are getting the correct result or not. Okay, so M1, whose value is coming to be 3.67. As you can see, it is looking like in the middle of C1, and M2 is 8.75 comma 2. Okay, so 8.75 comma 2, which is in between C and E. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is fine. Now, so our first, so we have initialized k equals to 2. So the clusters are formed. Now we have to do these two things. Okay, now we will classify n samples. So in our case n equals to 5. Okay, to the nearest Ci, and we will recompute Ci. Okay, so for that I am using this table. Okay, so here I can find the distance of all the combination. So I have mentioned here 5 data points, 5 observations, and these are the centroid M1 and M2 along with their coordinates. Okay, so now to find the distance we have to use Euclidean distance formula. So you might be familiar with this formula. So if my 2 points are represented by A and B with coordinates x1 and y1, x2 y2, distance between these 2 points can be calculated using this formula, Euclidean formula. It is the square root of difference in x coordinate, square of that, plus difference in y coordinate and square of that. Okay, so this is my A point, this is my B point. The coordinate of A is x1 y1 and x2 y2. Okay, so distance between this A and B can be calculated using this formula. Okay, so now here I have directly written the distance. Okay, so let me calculate distance for one of the point. Okay, so now see, I am calculating the distance between A and M2. So first we have to calculate difference between x coordinate. So it is 8.75 minus 2, that is 6.75. So 6.75 and square of that plus 2 minus 4. Okay, that is 2 and square of that is 4. Okay, and then I can find the square root of answer. So it is 7.04. In this way you have to fill this table. Okay, then we have to assign that data point to the nearest cluster, right? So we will assign this data point to the cluster with the minimum distance. Okay, so here the minimum distance is 1.71. Okay, so you have to assign this data point to the cluster C1. Okay, and then here the distance, minimum distance is for cluster 2. I have assigned it to cluster 2. Okay, so you have to observe the subscript. Okay, so M1 is centered of cluster C1, right? Okay, so here the minimum distance is for cluster 2. It is assigned to cluster 2. Okay, here it is for cluster 1 and here for cluster 2. Okay, so this is how our first task is completed, that is classify and sample according to the nearest CI. Okay, then we have to recompute CIs. Okay, CIs means centroids. So recomputing M1 and M2. So now M1, it is a centroid of cluster 1. Okay, so now in cluster 1 we have two observations. Okay, so C1, okay, A and D are assigned to cluster 1. So we want to find the x coordinate of centroid, okay, M1, right? So it will be the average of x coordinate. Okay, so that is 2 plus 1 divided by 2, and then comma the average of x2 coordinate or y coordinate, that is 4 plus 5 divided by 2. Okay, so this is the updated coordinates of centroid 1. Then M2, in cluster 2 we have three observations. Okay, that is BCE. Okay, so 8 plus 9 plus 8.5 divided by 3, then 2 plus 3 plus 1 divided by 3, and this is the coordinate of next centroid. Okay, so this is our iteration 1. Okay, so now we'll go for iteration 2. Again we have to calculate, we have to draw this table. Now here you can see M1 and M2, these are the updated values. We have data points. Okay, and again we have to calculate the distance using the Euclidean formula. Okay, and you assign the cluster. Okay, and as you can see here, so these are the cluster after iteration 1 and these are the cluster after iteration 2, and if you don't see any change, okay, then our algorithm will terminate. Okay, so as you can see there is no change in the clusters, so you will stop here. So no updation in clusters. So distribution after k-means clustering is shown in the attached graph. Okay, so as you can see, so earlier if you see the question, ABD were assigned to C1. Okay, so as you can see here, ABD were assigned to C1 and C and E were belongs to C2, right? So from the plot itself we know the answer, right? So BCE should belong to C2 and A and D should belongs to C1, and that's what happened after iteration 2. So see, you can see A and D are belonging to C1 now and B, C, E are belonging to C2 now. Okay, so that is the terminating condition, and final plot is looking like this now. Okay, so in C1 we have A and D. Okay, and as you can see, directly from here you can calculate the M1 actually. Okay, so the coordinate of A is 2, 4 and the coordinate of D is 1, 5. Okay, so the centroid will lie at the center of this cluster, right? So it will be 1.5 and 4.5. Okay, so which is the value which we have obtained. See here, 1.5 and 4.5. Okay, so this is how you can cross check your answers. And here in cluster 2 we have BCE. Okay, so for the x coordinate, so the value is 8.5, so it will be in between these 3 points, and y coordinate is 2. Okay, so it was very easy question. It was for 6 marks and the answer is just 1.5 page. Okay, so we go for second problem. Use k-means clustering to cluster the following data into 2 groups. Okay, so the value of k is 2 Assume cluster centroids are m1 equals to 2 and m2 equals to 4. Okay, so now if you observe the data points, here we have only one coordinate. Okay, that means our data is one dimensional here. That's why the coordinates of centroid is one dimensional. The distance function used is Euclidean distance. So here they have explicitly mentioned the distance formula to be used, that is Euclidean distance. So as this is one dimensional data, so I can easily plot that on the paper itself. So here I have drawn a number line, okay, and I have plotted this 8 data points. Let me count the data points: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 data points, and we want to find 2 clusters out of this data points. Now, so we'll try to guess the answer initially. Okay, so as you can see here, so can you see the blue circles? So definitely this will form one cluster and this 3 will form one cluster. Now we have to decide. So this 3 will form one cluster and this 3 will form one cluster. Now we want to find 2 clusters only, right? So this middle data points will either belongs to this cluster or this cluster. Okay, so see the distance between this. So it is 12 and 20. So distance is 8, and here the distance is 4 and 10. The distance is 6. So definitely these 3 points will belong to this cluster only. So this is our final answer. Okay, but we will prove. Okay, so we'll solve the numerical, but we know the answer. Okay, so that will be used for the cross checking. Okay, so now here the values of m1 and m2 are already given. Okay, so we'll start with the iteration 1 now. So distances of observation from centroid. Okay, again we are drawing that table. So here we have listed all the data points m1 and m2 and cluster. Okay, so now here, as this is one dimensional case, so let me write the Euclidean's formula. So distance between A and B equals to x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square. So this was for 2 dimensional data. For 1 dimensional data, so there will be only one coordinate. Okay, so here just the square root and square will cancel out. Okay, and the formula will look like this. But here one thing we have to observe is, because of this square, the difference, the negation, okay, so if the difference is minus 2, it will become a positive. Okay, so it 4 and then square root of that. Okay, so actually we want to find the absolute value between the coordinates. Okay, so that is the that formula we have to use. So we have to find the absolute difference between the values. Okay, so see here, 2 minus 2 0, 2 minus 4, not the minus 2, it will be 2 only. Okay, absolute value of the difference. 4 minus 2 2, 4 minus 4 0, 10 minus 2 8, 10 minus 4 6, and so on. Okay, and then start assigning the cluster. Okay, so the minimum value, see for the minimum distance, okay, 0, so C1 cluster. Okay, then C2 cluster, then C2, and so on. Okay, so now, so if you see, if you analyze this, so 1 1, okay, so only A1 and A5 with 2 and 3. Okay, so only 2 and 3 means, that means 2 and 3. Now these 2 points are belonging to C1, and rest of the points are currently assigned to C2. Okay, so now, so this is the case situation after iteration 1. So recomputing m1 and m2. Okay, so 2 points are belonging to m1. Okay, so that is 2 plus 3 divided by 2, so 2.5, and m2 is, okay, remaining 7 points are assigned to cluster 2. Okay, so addition of that, okay, it is coming out to be 16. So this is the end of iteration 1. distances of observation. Okay, so now I have not calculated the distance, okay, for saving the time. So here I can see directly 2 and 2.5. Okay, so cluster 1 is closer. Okay, as these values are very apart, I can easily assign to the cluster. So 4, which is nearer to cluster 1, then 10. Okay, so difference will is 7.5, and here it is 6, right? So it is assigned to cluster 2. Then 12, it is closer to cluster 2, okay, and so on. Okay, so now we have to see whether we have change in the cluster. Okay, so that is our terminating condition. So see here, 1 1 2 1. Yes, there is a change. Okay, so we have to proceed with the third iteration. So now as you can see try to analyze what has happened. So 2 and 3 were belonging to cluster 1. Now 4 is added to that cluster. Okay, 2, 3 and 4 are now belonging to cluster 1 and remaining are with cluster 2. So recomputing M1 and M2. So M1 is 2 plus 4 plus 3 divided by 3 equals to 3, and M2. So remaining 6 points are belonging to cluster 2. So the centroid is 18. Now iteration 3. Okay, so again we have those 9 points. Now M1 is 3 and M2 is 18. Okay, so now again I will start assigning this data point to the clusters. So 2, okay, this data point is closer to cluster 1, then 4, again cluster 1, and so on. Now as you can see, okay, now try to see the difference, okay, whether we have any change in the cluster. So 1 1 1, so we have 3 elements in the cluster 1. Here we have 5 elements. Okay, so we have change in the cluster. So now if you analyze, so now 11 is also belonging to cluster 1 and 10 is also belonging to cluster 1. Okay, so now cluster 1 is growing. So iteration number 4, again same thing. Okay, now as you can see here, 12 is also belonging to cluster 1 now. Okay, so if you see the plot now, so we knew the answer. Okay, 2 3 4 10 11 12, they should belong to C1, and that was what happened after iteration number 4. Okay, and in cluster number 2 we have 20 30 and 25. So here in the graph you can see 20 25 and 30 are belonging to C2. Okay, so now there is a change, actually there is a change in the cluster, so that's why we have to go for the iteration 5 also. Okay, and in iteration 5 there will be no change in the cluster, and then we will stop. There is no change in the cluster, so algorithm terminates. Okay, so final distribution of the data after clustering will look like this. As you can see, so what is the value of M1? So it was calculated here, M1. Okay, so 6 data points are belonging to M1. Okay, so it was 2 3 4 10 11 12, right? Okay, divided by 6, the value is 7, and 3 data points are belonging to cluster 2. Okay, so its coordinate will be 20 30 25 divided by 3, that is 25. Okay, so now try to visualize this. So the value of cluster 1 is 7, centroid. Okay, so as you can see here we have 4 and 10, so difference is what, 6, right? So center will lie 3 points away from the 4, that is 7, right? That is the value what we have obtained, right? And in case of a cluster 2 we have 20 25 and 30, its center will lie at 25, right? So that's what we have obtained, M2 equals to 25. Okay, so this is how you can analyze the answer that you have obtained. Now let us go for third problem. Okay, so now here something is different. Cluster the following 8 points into 3 clusters, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8. Okay, so here we are having 2-dimensional data. initial clusters are, okay, so they have provided the initial clusters A1, A4, A7. Okay, now they are using the data points as the cluster. Okay, so we can initialize the cluster with non-data points also. We can assign any data points to the cluster, but it is better to use the given data points as the cluster. Okay, so they are using A1, A4, A7 as the cluster. Okay, use distance function defined below for 2 points A and B with coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2. Now they have given the distance function. Okay, so here we will not be using Euclidean formula, but we are using this formula. Okay, and this formula is actually known as city block distance or Manhattan distance. Okay, so which is absolute difference in x coordinate plus absolute difference in y coordinate. Okay, so I will solve this problem. So given, okay, so here the cluster centroids are, okay, again we are using the same notation m1, m2 and m3. So it is given in the problem, that is 2, 10, 5, 8 and 1, 2. Okay, so these are our distance centroids, and distance formula to be used is this one, Manhattan distance, and the value of k is 3. We want to form 3 clusters. Okay, so now we'll try to visualize this distribution first. So if I plot these data points, so total we have 8 data points. So A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7 and A8. Okay, and initial centroids are 2, 10, 5, 8 and 1, 2. Okay, so now, and we want to form 3 clusters. Okay, so we'll try to guess the answer first. As you can see, these 3 points are closer, so definitely they will form one cluster. These 3 points are looking closer, so this will form one cluster. Now this is very apart, we have to decide about this point. Okay, so whether it will belong to this one or this one or this one. From the graph itself I can determine the distance. Okay, so if you see here, the coordinate of this A6 is 6, 4. Okay, and the coordinate of this is 2, 5. Okay, so if I calculate the city block distance, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So distance between these 2 points is 5. And what is the distance between these 2 points? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4. And what about these 2 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so distance is 6. So this A2 and A7 will form one cluster. Okay, so this is the expected result. But currently, what is the scenario? So we have M1 here, M2 here and M3 here. Okay, so now this A8 is closer to A4. So these two are forming. Let me erase this. So I want to find the initial situation of the cluster. Okay, so now this A8 is closer to A4. So now A8 will belong to A4. Then as this A2 is closer to M3, it will belong to this. Okay, now we have to find, so whether A6 is closer to A4 or A7. Okay, so calculate the distance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, no, we want to find distance from M3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so here it was 6, here it was 7. So these 3 points will belong to M2. Okay, so initial state of the cluster is like this. Okay, so in M1, that means in cluster 1 we have only A1. In cluster 2 we have 5 data points, and in cluster 3 we have 2 data points. Okay, so this will obtain after iteration number 1. So see, so let us find the values. So I have just constructed the tables, empty tables. So we'll find. So now we know the formula. It is absolute difference between x coordinate plus absolute difference in y coordinate. Okay. So 2 plus 2 and 10, 2 minus 2, 0 plus 10 minus 10, 0. Okay. Then it is 5 comma 8. Okay. So 5 minus 2, that is 3, plus 2, that is 5. Okay. Now here we have 3 clusters. Okay. So 1 and 8, that is 9. Okay. So now here the minimum distance is for cluster 1. So it will belong to cluster 1. Okay. Then for A2, calculate the difference in x coordinate, that is 2 minus 2, that is 0, plus 10 minus 5, that is 5, equals to 5. Then 5 minus 2, that is 3, plus 8 minus 5, that is 3, that is 6. Then 1 minus 2 is 1, 2 minus 5 is 3, that is 4. Okay, so the minimum distance is for cluster 3, so it will belong to cluster 3. For data point A3, so here difference is 6 in x coordinate and in y coordinate again 6, so 12. Then 3 plus 4, that is 7, 7 plus 2, that is 9. Okay, so it will belong to cluster 2. Okay, because the distance is 7. Then 3 plus 2, that is 5, 0 plus 0 equals to 0. Okay, and then 4 plus 6, that is 10. Okay, so C2. 5 plus 5 equals to 10, 2 plus 3 equals to 5, then 6 plus 3 equals to 9. Okay, minimum distance is for cluster 2. Then A6, okay, x coordinate difference is 6 minus 2, that is 4, plus 6 equals to 10, then 1 plus 4, 5, then 5 plus 2, that is 7, minimum distance is for cluster 2. Then A7, 1 plus 8, that is 9, then 4 plus 6, that is 10, then 0. Okay, because it is same, right? So it will belong to cluster 3. Then A8, so 4, 2, that is 2 plus 1, that is 3, then 1 plus 1, that is 2, and 3 plus 7, that is 10. Okay, minimum distance is for C2. So as expected, in cluster 1 we have only A1. So let me show you. In cluster 1 we have A1. In cluster 3, A2 and A7. In cluster 3, C3, C3, A2 and A7. And remaining all are belonging to C2. Okay. Then finally, what will be the final plot? Okay. So from the graph itself I can see here. Okay. So this will be my C1. This is my C2 and C3. Okay. Can I calculate the value of M1, M2 and M3 from here itself? Okay. For M1, okay, so it will be the average of this x coordinate of these 3 data points. Okay. So you will complete this problem. Okay. So I will write the solution at the end. Okay, and try to solve this problem. So we'll stop here. In the next class we'll discuss agglomerative clustering, which is hierarchical clustering. Okay, let me show you the problems which are asked in previous exams. We have solved this problem number 1. This question number 2 is asked in Mumbai University twice. It is based on agglomerative clustering, that we will see in next lecture. This question is asked in Mumbai University once. So here k value is 2. Centroid is also given. Okay, actually they will provide the initial value of centroid, because if you choose different centroid values, your answer will be different. Okay, final answer will be same. Okay, but intermediate answer will be different. Okay, so that's why they will give the initial value for the centroids also. Okay, so that means answers of all the student will be same. Data points are given. Okay, so this is very easy question. Again, this is based on agglomerative clustering algorithm. This question is asked twice in Mumbai University. Okay, so here we have one-dimensional data points. Okay, actually I think we have solved this problem. No, it is different. Here we have three clusters. Okay, so again we have one-dimensional data points. Okay, so it will be easy. So we know the change in Euclidean distance formula also. Here use the K-means clustering algorithm and Euclidean distance to cluster the following 8 examples into 3 clusters. Okay, find new centroid at every new point entry into the cluster group. Okay, assume initial cluster centers as A1, A4 and A7. Okay, this is a question from Mumbai University. This we will discuss in next class. And these two questions were asked in previous D-Batu paper. One is based on hierarchical clustering, that also we will discuss in next class, and second one that we have solved. Okay, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let us revise. So let us revise the K-means algorithm. So initialize K value. Okay, so in the problem itself that K value will be given. Then randomly initialize C1, C2 and Ck. Okay, again this will be also given in the problem. Then repeat until there is no change in Ci. Okay, so we'll go iteration by iteration and we'll keep observing the clusters. Okay, and if there is no change in the clusters in consecutive iteration, we'll stop. Classify n samples according to nearest Ci. Okay, so we'll find the distance between data points and the centroid and we will assign that data point to the closest Ci, and as there is change in the cluster we have to recompute the centroid of that cluster.